Good morning, glue sticks. I've got some tips for you to make your mornings easier and more productive for you. Don't click away. Don't click away. I'm done singing, I promise. I really hope that didn't require a trip to the doctor to check in about early onset hearing loss, because I know I am not a wonderful singer, but it woke you up, probably caught your attention. And that is what I'm talking about today, is waking you up, getting your attention, getting you started for the day, giving you some tips about your morning. I have been getting up at 4 a.m. for the last 3 years, ever since my second baby was a few months old. And if I can do it, you can do it. I was working 50 hours a week, and I have so many tips for you to share today. Glue. It's messy, it's sticky, it gets everywhere, but it's also really useful. Just like the glue that we need to put together the pieces of our life as busy working moms. We have after-school activities, we have homework, we have cleaning, we have laundry, and, we want to spend time with our kids as well in the process, and maybe even have some time for ourselves. This podcast is for the busy moms out there who are balancing work, life, and everything in between, and we all know that in between encompasses a lot of things. If you're a mom who wants to do the best in all areas of life but still have time for yourself, this podcast is for you. I love to interview other moms and find out what works for them, get ideas from them, get inspired by them, and learn, we're all in this together. But I also like to share my own tips, tricks, struggles, triumphs, and share it all with you. So grab a load of laundry, lock yourself in the bathroom, go for a walk, do whatever you got to do, but I am just so glad you're here. Hey, glue sticks. Sorry about the singing, but wanted a fun way to start this video / podcast episode. If you are new here, hi, my name is Sarah. This is my channel and podcast, Work Life Glue. I have a YouTube channel where I post multiple videos a week about time management, organizing, great ideas for busy working moms or just busy moms in general. And then I also have this podcast where I sit down once a week and have a conversation with you guys, share some tips, tricks, stories, triumphs, struggles. Sometimes I interview a fellow working mom and get some ideas and inspiration from her. And I just love this community I have created here online. So if you are new, I would love if you would subscribe to my podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Sometimes I post the full episode of my podcast on YouTube, and sometimes I just post a snippet depending on what the content is. And so I've been trying to record the video of me talking as well as the audio. So if you just want to listen to the podcast, you can listen on a podcast app. If you want to actually see me, sometimes I throw in some graphics, or if I'm interviewing somebody, I try to get them on as well with the video so that you can see us. So it's totally up to you, but I would love if you would subscribe and become part of our Glue Stick family. So today we are talking all about morning routines, and I actually posted a video as part of a collaboration with multiple amazing women on YouTube, moms, most of them, and we all shared our morning routines or tips for our mornings, and I shared my 4 a.m. morning routine. That's always been something kind of shocking to people about my channel, is that I've been sharing my 4 a.m. routine for a few years. I used to work 50 plus hours a week as a daycare provider in our home. Now I just watch one little boy a few days a week, and I am gearing up to homeschool. I run this online business. My husband has a side business and is a busy chef. So we're very busy, and I'm balancing it all. And part of that balance is waking up at 4 a.m. So if you haven't already, I would highly encourage you to go watch that video. It just takes you through my morning. You can actually see what I do. And now today I'm sharing tips to kind of give you tips that will work for anybody for the most part that I've learned over my morning routine journey, which started about 6 years ago when I really got on a personal development kick. I read The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I read The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I've read The Compound Effect. I've read Essentialism. Like all of these books I've read over the years have really just helped me learn, like Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've learned so many different things from so many books and just putting it into practice. And what better way to learn about morning routines for busy working moms than from a busy working mom herself? So I just thought I would share with you guys 15 different tips I have. I will try to get through them quickly because I know you don't have a ton of time, but I think these tips are so helpful if you want to start waking up earlier. If you are waking up early already, but you're just not being as productive as you want to be or fitting in the things that really make you feel good at the start of your day, or if you just are interested in learning some tips because you hate mornings and you just want a few tips. Maybe you don't even want to wake up earlier, but you just want some tips to be more productive at the start of your day. So let's jump into it. Now, I'm not ever going to tell somebody they have to wake up early. Not everybody's a morning person. And actually, I don't even feel like I'm a morning person. I think I had to teach myself to be a morning person because as a mom, I'm exhausted by the end of the day. And I always say I'm worthless after 7 p.m. Like I cannot motivate myself to do much of anything after 7 p.m. when my kids go to bed. I usually have this like big jolt of energy around 5, and then my kids really just deplete it. And by after bath, bed, supper, all of those things, I am just dead to the world and I cannot do anything at night. So that's what really propelled me to start getting up earlier so that I could actually use the time of my day wisely instead of just wasting it at the end of the day and falling asleep on the couch watching TV for hours. I took an hour or two of that time away and added it to my morning so I could be more productive. And that is how I'm able to run a business on top of everything else. So I would love to share my tips with you guys today. So my first tip is actually dealing with the night before. I think it's really important to start the night before doing a few things to get your home ready, to get yourself ready and prepared to wake up early. Now, I know a lot of people say set out your workout clothes the night before. If you're going to be working out in the morning, great. You can definitely do that. I like to set my robe out, which I'll talk about in a next tip, but I like to get my coffee pot ready, which I'll talk about, and I like to have the house kind of tidy. And that is how I get myself ready at night for the morning. I like to have a tidy house so that, and not perfectly clean, but tidy, like the kitchen, living room are tidied. I do that after, our kids help with some of it, and then I do the rest of it after they've gone to sleep. That way, when I wake up, I'm not feeling stressed out or like I have to tidy, like it's just hitting me over the head, like our house is untidy. I have a tidy house so I can start doing the things I want to do in the morning and I'm not feeling like overwhelmed by how our house is. And then I also start the coffee pot, which is tip number 2. So tip number 2 is to have something to lure you out of bed, especially if you are just starting getting up earlier, whatever time that may be. I think it's really important to have something that will entice you to get out of bed. Now, it may not be coffee for you. That is what it is for me. So I set our coffee pot right after I clean up supper. I set the coffee pot. I get the grounds in there. I get the water in there, and I delay the start time so that it's brewed and ready. It goes off, I think, at like 3:40. It turns on, and then it starts brewing the coffee, and it's ready for me when I get out of bed at 4. So that way I don't have to actually do any work that I hate doing. Like I just hate doing stuff like that. So I don't have to do that first thing in the morning. It's already done. And the smell wakes me up and I just feel so happy pouring that right away. And it's just something that seriously helps me get out of bed. And especially when you're first starting this, you need something. Maybe it is a bowl of your favorite cereal, or maybe you do overnight oats, or you have egg bites waiting for you to heat up or something if it's food related. Maybe you have a video that you're going to watch right when you wake up and that really gets you excited. I don't know. It could be anything. It really just depends on things you love. But think of something that you could do right away, right when you wake up, that you love, that makes you feel good, that you would actually be excited to do or to eat or to drink right when you wake up, and have that kind of ready or have the ingredients set out so that you can get started right away to entice you out of bed. Next, I know a lot of us like to hit the snooze button. I know it's not a good thing, but we have that habit. If you're going to start waking up earlier, I would highly encourage you to build in snooze time. So what I mean by this is, let's say you hit the snooze button 2 times and it goes like every 10 minutes, it goes off. Set your clock back an extra 20 minutes to make up for that snooze time. Now, I know that's not like what Mel Robbins would suggest, because you're supposed to just take 5 seconds and catapult out of bed. But I know, especially if you're trying to get up even earlier, that can be really hard. Even such a good tip as her whole book is the 5-second rule. But not all of us can do that right away. So I build in snooze time. It's been harder and harder for me after having my 3rd baby to get up as early as I do. So I build in snooze time. My alarm goes off at 3:40, and then I snooze 2 or 3 times and then try to get out of bed around 4:10. So that is another tip to help you to build in snooze time. Okay, next, if you are just starting this journey and you want to be productive in the morning, this tip may seem counterintuitive, but I think it really works. and that is to start with something you love to do, even if it's not productive at all. I think in order to get yourself into a new habit, you actually have to start it. And if you're starting it and you are deciding to work out all of a sudden and you haven't been working out and now you're going to try to wake up early and work out, which are two new things that you're not used to doing and probably don't really want to do, I would encourage you to just start with the waking up part, because you need to do that first in order to work out. So I would not even start the working out part yet, or the getting some work done, or whatever it is you're waking up early to do. I would start with something you love. Maybe you're just going to sit for an hour and watch YouTube videos. Maybe you're going to read. Maybe you're going to organize something because you love to organize. Maybe you're going to knit a sweater. Like whatever it is that you love to do, wake up early and do that for the first couple weeks, even until you get in the habit of waking up early. And then you can slowly add in the thing that you want to do that you may not actually really want to do, if that makes sense, that you want to fit into your day, but you're not really motivated to do. Add that in later. Start with something you really love, and then work your way up to doing the thing that you are wanting to get done. So that way you're starting with one habit at a time, not trying to take on too much at once, and you're just trying to nail that habit of getting up early, and then you can add in the other things. And then once you have started getting up early and you're doing well, or you think you're able to just start this habit and get something done, I would highly encourage you to save things for this time that are easy but essential. So working out, if you're going to start working out during this time, I would do, an easier workout to start at least. But, working out is an essential thing. Like, it's pretty important for our health. So do an easier workout, but something that's essential. So for me, I like to get work done during this time. So I choose work that is easy, but stuff that I absolutely have to get done. So for me, that's editing. I edit my podcast episodes. I edit my videos. It's not something that takes a lot of brain power. I can be half awake and do it, but it's something that I have to get done. So for you, if you're getting up earlier to do homemaking things, pick things that are easy, but essential. So whatever that may be, clearing the dishwasher, starting laundry, folding laundry, any of those things. Maybe it's even self-care that you're going to do. So pick something that's easy but essential. So showering, taking a bath, that's, self-care, all of that is probably essential. But think of things that are easy to do, but that actually move the needle for you so that you're being productive, but still not requiring a ton of brain power, because likely you're not going to have it right away in the morning. Another thing I would really recommend is to actually get out of bed. I know it can be tempting early in the morning to just stay in bed and do your work or respond to emails or whatever it may be, but the more you stay in bed, the more likely you are to fall asleep. Also, you're training your body that your bed is for things other than sleeping. And I think reading in bed is okay because that's a more relaxing thing, but I would recommend you don't work in bed or do any tasks like that. Just get up and go to a couch, or even just sit up in your room, but don't stay in your bed, because you want to have some separation between your sleeping space and your working space, or your getting things done space. Also, I have been practicing some version of the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod for 6 years. I don't follow it exactly anymore, but I was very into it and very rigid with it for a couple years, where I would do the silence, the reading, the affirmations, the visualization, the exercise, all of that. But I have streamlined it more now, and I've learned it's okay to do things differently than what the book says. And so I really just use that time to work. But I do think it's really important, and something I do include in my morning is a devotional and a gratitude time. So this could also include journal time, visualization. I think it's important to do a couple of those things in the morning. You may not do all of them because it can take up a lot of time, but I think it's really important to fit in some kind of self-care gratitude ritual in the morning. So you can grab a gratitude journal or just a notebook and write out a couple things. You could journal for 5 minutes, or get the 5-minute journal where it asks you questions. You could read for 10 minutes in the morning, some kind of personal development book or inspirational book. You could do a devotional if you are Christian, or read an inspirational article or something like that, just to really fit in those really important things that we often don't do if we don't do them right away. I think it's important to try to fit those into your morning, but they don't have to take up your whole morning time. Okay, this is a huge one for moms, especially working moms. Now, when I think back to before I was a mom and I was a teacher, and then I also was a nanny, and I would spend like an hour getting ready in the morning, and I really don't know what I was doing. And this is not to judge anybody who does spend that much time getting ready in the morning, but I used to shower every single day, wash my hair every single day, blow dry my hair, straighten my hair, which goes totally against my natural hair, which is very wavy. So that would take a long time. And I spent so much time getting ready. Then I had kids and I stopped caring that much. And I learned it's not very good to wash your hair every day, at least for my hair type. I have pretty dry hair. Also, curling my hair only takes 2 to 3 minutes versus straightening that takes 20 to 30. So I learned all these different ways to knock off a ton of time in my morning, not only to not waste a lot of time in my day and have more productive hours, but also so that I can get done quickly so that my kids who are waiting for me to be ready can get up and we can start our day and I can spend more time with them versus time on my appearance. So I would highly encourage you to have a streamlined 20 to 30 minute getting ready routine. Maybe you already do. And this isn't for like lazy days where you don't even care what you look like. I'm talking about days when you're going to leave the house. Maybe you're going to see somebody. Maybe you are working outside the house and so you want to look presentable. Try to get it down to 20 or 30 minutes. For me, I just have a very simple routine. It's the exact same every single day. And I think it's really helpful to have a quote unquote look that you can go to every single day. Maybe you love doing hair and you love makeup. So you will have times where you experiment, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially if it's something you love to do. But for me, I found things that work well for me, that look good on me, and I just do them pretty much every single day. If I was going to a wedding or something, I might do a little bit different things, but for me, it's just nice to have one thing that I do every single day. So that involves, and I shared it in my video this week if you guys want to actually see what I'm doing, but I just do, brush my teeth, I floss, I will put moisturizer on, I do foundation, I do a setting powder, I do a little blush, I do my eyebrows, and then I use fake lashes. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I have lashes that are very sparse and thin and fall out very easily, especially with all my pregnancy and postpartum hormones. They fall out like nobody's business. And I would spend so much time trying to make my eyelashes look good in the morning, and they still would look awful by my standards. So I just started wearing fake lashes. It takes me about 2 minutes to get them on. You can even have eyelash extensions if you want to pay for that to save you time, or you can wear ones like I have used in the past called Flutter Habit. I think Lashify also has ones where you can wear them for a few days and they stay on and you sleep in them. There's so many ways to save time in the morning these days. It's amazing. So I just glue mine on. I just really like how they look. And then I put some mascara on them and some eyeliner. It just looks really natural, but nicer than I could do. And it takes me less time to do that than it would with mascara. And then for my hair, as you can see if you're watching the video, I just put it half up, twist the ponytail, wrap it around into a bun. So it's like a little bun in the back of my head. And then I take the rest of the hair and I take chunks and I put it around my curling wand. It takes about 2 minutes to do the whole bottom part. And my hair is naturally wavy, so I don't even put hairspray. And then I'm done. It takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes if my kids are interrupting me a lot, but 20 minutes tops from start to finish. And I'm totally ready, look presentable, can go just about anywhere. And I feel good. Like I feel ready. I feel presentable. I feel good about myself. So I do this even if we're not going anywhere. It just makes me feel better about myself. And I'm ready for anything. And so I would highly encourage you to have some kind of really quick and easy look for getting ready in the morning, no matter what's going on, that you can easily do in just a few minutes. Okay, my next tip is dealing with kids. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of these things, but if you have younger kids who like to get up really early, like mine, I know it's great to get up early. I love getting up early. I don't want my kids up at 4 or 5 a.m. though, and I think it's important for them to learn appropriate times to wake up. I don't think most kids should be waking up at 5 and like starting the day. I mean, it depends on your lifestyle and everything, but for us, like there's no reason for them to be up that early. And so my kids usually are awake by 5:30. And so we have what they call the okay to wake clocks that turn green when it's time to come out. So I have set them for 6:10. I actually was having them get up at 6, and then I wasn't quite ready yet because often they'll go to the bathroom or they'll come ask me a question. And so it was taking me longer to get ready because of those interruptions. So I added 10 more minutes on to their okay to wait clock. So I would be completely done every single day. Usually I have a few minutes to spare. And then they're able to come out and I can help them get ready for the day. So I just really recommend this. It has saved so many power struggles and arguments and fights with my kids because the clock tells them it's okay to get up, not me. Now, there are some struggles when you're first starting and redirecting, but once they get it down, it's such a wonderful tool to teach them when it's okay to get up. And my kids just play in bed or look at books until their clock turns green. And this has saved me so much sanity and time, energy in the morning, not having to fight with my kids before they're even supposed to be awake. Another great tip for the mornings, especially for busy moms, especially for working moms, is to prep your breakfast ahead of time. I know there are lots of quick and easy things you can buy for breakfast at the store. We all know they're not as healthy for our kids or for ourselves. So I highly encourage you to prep your breakfast on the weekends. And now this does not mean prepping 5 different breakfasts for 5 different days of the week. This means once a week, you prep one type of food for the whole month. So maybe on Saturday, you will make pancakes for breakfast and you will just make a ton of extra. So you have enough for one time per week for the next month and you'll just freeze those. The next week, you will do waffles and make extra. Then the next week, you might do egg bites or muffins or egg burritos or whatever it is. And then after you've been doing this consistently for 4 to 5 weeks, you'll have enough healthy breakfasts and you'll just keep doing that every week. You'll do a different one. So once it's empty and done with, that weekend you'll make the new. So you'll have enough for the month. And then the next week, the next thing will run out and you'll prep that for the next month. And it just keeps going and going. So you're only prepping one type of food and you're already making it on the weekends anyway. So it's not really taking you a lot of extra time or energy. And that way you have really healthy breakfasts ready for the week and you can just pop them in the toaster, the microwave, and they're good to go. And you're having healthy, easy meals in just a couple minutes in the morning. One thing I really love to incorporate into my morning on top of everything else is learning. And I like to do this by multitasking. So when I'm getting ready in the morning and then when I'm getting dressed and making my kids breakfast, I am usually listening to an educational podcast or an audiobook or possibly a YouTube video. And I love to do this because it's not easy to find time to read during the day. It's not easy to find motivation to actually learn throughout the day. Usually I'm tired. So I love to use this time when I shower, which I usually do at night, or am getting ready to listen to something. And that way I'm learning. And that's an even more productive thing to do in the morning. And it's just really maximizing my time every single morning. And then on top of this, I like to read to my kids during breakfast. So I think this is a great thing. This is actually something I kind of learned from homeschooling. Before I started homeschooling, I had learned about the morning basket. And this is basically a homeschooling tool that a lot of parents use. When they homeschool, they will have time where the whole family sits together at the table or in the living room and they do a basket of different things in the morning. So maybe they read a book, they learn about a famous painter and they look at the painting. They might memorize a Bible verse, stuff like that. So what we do in the morning every day during breakfast, even though we're not currently homeschooling yet, and we only have about 50 minutes between the time my daughters get up and my oldest gets on the bus. So we don't have a lot of time, but I like to connect with them and fit in some quality reading time in the morning and give them something to do during breakfast. So we read one chapter of a book during this time, 1 to 2 chapters, depending on how long they are. And then we talk about what they are grateful for that morning. So they're fitting in their gratitude, and we are also fitting in reading in their day. And this is a great way, especially if your kids are in school and you're working, that you can fit in reading and special time with them, before they even go to school, which is pretty impressive because mornings are pretty chaotic for most parents when their kids go to school, especially if you're working. So it's just a great thing to fit in while they're eating. Another thing I like to do every morning is to start a load of laundry. I either do it at night or in the morning. I like to get it started so that every day we have a load of laundry getting cleaned. You can start it and delay it if you are working outside the house and have it start either when you get home or a little bit before, and then you can move it to the dryer and have a load of laundry getting washed every day so you can stay on top of it and you don't have to do a ton of laundry on the weekends. And then whether you are working outside the home or staying home and working or are a stay-at-home mom and caring for your children all day, I think it's really important to start your morning with a tidy home. So you started it with a tidy home if you are doing the stuff at night like I talked about. But then, of course, inevitably your kids are awake, you're having breakfast, there's stuff everywhere, they're getting ready for school or they're playing or whatever. Kids just make a mess. And so I think it's really important at the start of your day after breakfast, kind of at the end of your morning routine, to tidy up. So for me, that involves wiping down the counters. I will do a quick sweeper vac of the floors. I will put the dishes into the dishwasher or hand wash any dishes that need to be. And I'll just kind of pick up anything that we had sitting around because things always get left no matter how hard we try. And I like to do this before we transition on to my oldest going to school and getting into the rest of our later morning activities. And then my last tip is just to have something at the end of your morning routine or at the end of the day to reward yourself. I think getting up early is amazing. I think it can give you so much energy and fuel and motivation to crush the rest of your day. But it can also leave you exhausted at the end of the day because you've been up for so long and you've been so productive and just killing it with everything you've gotten done that day. So I think having something at the end of the day to reward yourself is important. I don't see anything wrong with watching Netflix at night or having that little bowl of ice cream or some popcorn or whatever it may be. That is your way of saying you did a good job and now you can rest. And I personally love getting up early because I don't feel guilty at all resting and just doing absolutely nothing at the end of the day because I've been so productive. Whereas when I wasn't getting up super early, I felt this pressure to do stuff at night, but I was so tired. So now I have permission to do that, which you always have permission to do that, but I have no guilt attached to it because I know I am getting up early the next day and I'm going to do a bunch then. So I can just fully relax and unwind at the end of the day. And it's seriously the best feeling ever. I hope these tips were helpful for you guys. I would love to know what time you get up in the morning. If you would head over to my YouTube channel community tab, I will have it in the show notes if you are watching on the podcast app or the description if you're on YouTube. And head over there and comment on the thumbnail for this episode and let me know what time you get up if you're going to work at getting up earlier. And let me know any other tips you guys have for getting up early and being productive in the morning, whether you get up super early or not. Share those tips over there and we can help others in our community grow and be more productive in the mornings because I know we all can use a little more help. Thank you guys so much for listening. I will see you next time. If you haven't already and you're listening in a podcast app, I would greatly appreciate if you would leave a review for this podcast. Just scroll down and you can leave a rating and a written review that would help others find this podcast and grow our community so I can help even more people. It would be amazing. And as always, go get something done. Go love on your kids. Go live your dreams. I'll talk to you soon.